वेलकम टू द मानव शो सर एंड इट इज वेरी इमेंस प्लेजर है कि आप यहाँ पे आए हो आज और आपके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करने को चांस मिला है। आप बहुत बिजी रहते हो, तो कैसे हो सर आप?
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Mana, for calling me in. And it's a pleasure to be here to interact with you. Nice to see the young generation doing new things. So, all the very best to you, and sure.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। सर अभी आपकी जर्नी बहुत जल्दी स्टार्ट हो गई थी एंड यू स्टार्टेड योर जर्नी एट द एज ऑफ 14 बाय गोइंग टू डोर सर्विस जाके एज ए सेल्समैन आपने चालू किया। तो ये जर्नी क्यों स्टार्ट किया आपने वो?
Actually, Manav, it was not an option for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't go into much of details, but the financial circumstances and the family which was going through. Very briefly, my dad had a factory which didn't do too well for reasons that is not subject here. But then to see me through school, it was very important for me to, find some source of income. And that's when, this opportunity came by. Why opportunity? I asked for it to go door to door and sell stuff. So I started with things like chaddars from Sholapur and saris from Surat and chappals from Kolhapur. So these are the things which I picked up through known sources. So that made it easy for me to procure these things and then go door to door in Pune neighborhood, in Model Colony and all those places and sell it. Yeah. So it was circumstances which motivated me, encouraged me, I would say, to generate a source of income so that I could pay my school fees. And that's about it.
सो सर व्हेन यू गो डोर टू डोर देर आर बहुत टाइम पे तो दरवाजा बंद कर देते थे एंड वो चैलेंजेस को कैसे ओवरकम किया आपने कि नहीं हमको नहीं चाहिए, दरवाजा मुंह पे बंद कर दिया? तो ये चैलेंजेस कैसे ओवरकम?
In fact, Manav, that is what I've mentioned in a few of my books also. What I call as slamming doors and barking dogs. Those days, going back when I was 14, when I started this. It was not so much of secured area where it was very easy to go and knock on doors, walk into societies and all that. Chalta tha. Aajkal to there is no way you can go anywhere, kind of thing. So yes, when you walk in the door and you ring the bell and then you find a lady coming in, or that depend on her or his mood what it was. I was shooed away or maybe I was hurt for a while and sometimes, in a gated thing, when you go there, you see that dogs are coming behind you and you are running with your wares elsewhere. So I've been through all that. And I wouldn't say it was fun. So hindsight, oh my God, it was like, when I think now, I said, yaar, kaise kiya hoga, yaar, I did it. But that was part of the whole thing. And Manav, you asked me that, how do you cope with it? Honestly, at 14, you don't really know. So I took it in my strides. तो किसी ने दरवाजा बंद कर दिया तो ठीक है, थैंक यू मैडम बोल के आगे चला गया, और किसी ने encourage किया तो वो भी कुछ अच्छे अनुभव आए हैं. Where like when the families they called me in, बिठाया, पूछा कि क्या करते हो, ये क्यों कर रहे हो, और then when they realized that he's doing for his education, he's doing it the right way, they encouraged me. There's some very positive feedback also. अगर एक चद्दर की जरूरत थी तो उन्होंने 2 ली, शायद किसी जगह चद्दर की जरूरत भी नहीं होगी उनको, तो फिर भी उन्होंने ली, just to encourage me, just to motivate me. So both kind of experiences I had. But most important learning, I think, Manav, for me would be that reading between the lines is what I think was a very good takeaway for me. वो क्या बोल रही है और उसके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है, वो there are two different things. So number 1. Number 2, the ego. तू बड़ा सेठ होगा तेरे घर में. So when you are there in front of the customer, he or she is right. And then the way they ask question to you, it still happens in marketing. Why those days? Why door to door? It still happens even in B2B. They really like trample your ego and bring you down on terra firma, which I think is a very good thing. So very early in life, probably subliminally I think this worked somewhere कि नहीं यार ये तू तू बड़ा घर होगा तेरे घर में, यहाँ पे तो तेरे को जमीन पे चलना है, नंबर वन. और नंबर टू, reading between the lines, that I think somewhere subliminally it fit into my mind, which probably is helped me in my later years.
सो सर आपने जैसे बोला रीडिंग बिटवीन द लाइंस एंड यू अपने ईगो नीचे रखना है, कभी कोई फनी स्टोरी है क्या आपके पास, या एनी मेमोरेबल लेसन दैट यू स्टिल कैरी विथ यू?
मेमोरेबल अगर बोलना है तो डोर टू डोर में ये से किस्सा हुआ था. Not related to my door to door selling, but in Pune I was one of the first one to I wanted to build a database of Pune households.
Okay.
So what I did was I hired a team of students, and along with them I prepared a questionnaire. But basically what we call today as a psychodemographic analysis. Demographics में क्या है, एज कितना है, घर में फैमिली मेंबर कितने हैं, क्या खाते हो, क्या पीते हो, शॉपिंग क्या करते हो. This I'm going back 30 years ago when it was all new. So trying to build a database, घर में क्या ओनरशिप है वगैरह. वो उस टाइम तो क्या मतलब साइकिल है तो वो लूना का कस्टमर हो सकता है क्या, those kind of things. Build this आपके उसमें घर में क्या क्या है. तो पीपल इन गुड फेथ गेव ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन लिया, बिकॉज एंड दिस इंफॉर्मेशन आई कुड डिसाइफर एंड देन बिल्ड अ मार्केटिंग प्लान. यार इन घरों में दिस माइट बी अ रिक्वायरमेंट, सो क्रिएट मार्केटिंग कैंपेन्स फॉर दिस. while doing so in Parvati area, talking about door to door experience and funny बोलिए या scary बोलिए, किसी ने तो कर दिया, पुलिस स्टेशन में कंप्लेंट कर दी कि यार ये ऐसा ऐसा बंदा है along with my team and he's going door to door and collecting this information. So probably he's trying to figure out किसके घर में क्या है, ओवरऑल वो चोरी या डाका डालने का प्लान शायद चल रहा है अपनी टीम का. पर्वती पुलिस स्टेशन में मेरे को भी बुला लिया वहां पे, मेरे बंदे को भी वहां पे बिठा दिया और दैट्स इट. बोला सब बोला इंस्पेक्टर वहां पे जो था उस टाइम मला काय व्हॉट इज दिस, काय चाललंय, अशी अशी कंप्लेंट आली आहे. देन त्याला सगळं आय एक्सप्लेन्ड इट टू कि look, this is what I'm a marketing person. These are the students who are doing their MBAs and we are building this database. So eventually by this database, I'll be able to reach more cost effectively and I'll be more useful and helpful to that particular person. Because if I understand his lifestyle, I can create products for him. Those days, I mean, where it was, so somehow, I mean, better sense prevailed that I said, okay, take up and sammalun kar. Sorry, I'm using this word in Marathi because it happened here. And I was sent back home. So that was, I mean, you call it funny or you call it scary, but yes, that I remember that things happening to me while going door to door, not for selling, but for building this database.
Sir, जैसे you said about database and you started collecting at that time. Right now in this modern days we have Google Sheets, Google Spreads बनते हैं and we directly link भेज दो, उस पे सारी डिटेल्स मिल जाते हैं. And it's salute sir कि आपने वो टाइम पे लोगों को इकट्ठा किया and घर पे जाके आप सबका ले रहे थे. It was a very tedious job.
55,000 homes.
55,000.
I built a database of 55,000 homes in Pune. So probably that's one of my pioneering efforts of the database marketing, of relationship marketing. I think I would like to take credit for that in those particular days of building these kind of databases. आज तो खैर सब मिल जाते हैं आपको, मोबाइल फोन के नंबर्स मिलते हैं, सब मिलते हैं, ईमेल मिलते हैं, nothing of the sort. Because that database, and with that database, Manav, I was able to build a lot of products and services based upon their lifestyle, based upon their needs. And genuinely, and I never misused what these days we call as spam. Those days, I mean, it wasn't any spamming because based upon his requirement, I could address him by his first name, by his last name. And I could tell him in my direct mailers. I created booklets in travel for, I mean, I've sold washing machines with that. I sold textiles, I sold fabrics, I sold, I mean, n number of books. Okay. And I created booklets, like I created coupons, booklets, which are very common these days. But those days I was, I think, one of the very few in the world who did that, where I created a book of booklets which of non-competing products and send them to this 55,000 homes. So from that booklet, they could actually select, "Arey, this is what I require, this is what I need." And it worked beautifully. It worked beautifully. It was very tedious, but yeah, it gave me my kicks, it gave me my money. And yes, that was one of the pioneering efforts.
Right now, sir, what data, clouding, AI is doing it, you did it manually at that time. जहाँ पे customer का need आप identify कर पा रहे हैं.
Going back 35, 40 years, some early 90s. Yeah.
So, sir, going forward, आपने 14 years की एज में चालू किया and आपकी जर्नी बढ़ती गई. Do you think that ये जो जर्नी थी, it led you for the world of business? मतलब आपका फाउंडेशन बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग किया इसने.
100%. 100%. बिकॉज जो लर्निंग, जो सीखने को मिला कंज्यूमर इंटरेक्शन से, दैट हैज रियली हेल्प मी अ लॉट फॉर बिल्डिंग business strategies, for building my advertising campaigns in my later days, because I knew somewhere, I didn't learn those consciously, but it probably fit into my mind somewhere. It was in some compartments of my mind that if I write such a way, if I write a headline such a way, if I write my copy in such a way, how will the customer react to it? Will he or she think positive about it? Will she be inclined to go out and shop for that or ask for the particular brand or the product? It definitely helped me a lot. Definitely, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, no books would have taught me those things. Okay, later on, I BSc and MBA वो सब किया, सीखने को बहुत मिला. But what MBA taught me, what book taught me, yes, they put on the blinkers. But what the streets taught me was something totally different. Now, a combo of this, I think, is a very lethal combination.
So I was going to come to that point only, जहाँ पे you said कि आपने education भी लिया, formal education, state education से, and आपने किया honors in physics, and you did MBA. So आप इतना सीख ही रहे थे street पे, what inspired you कि मैं formal education भी लूँ?
Formal education का, it again runs into my family. I mean, my dad, a firm believer of education. He himself he was a technocrat. He was B electrical, B mechanical, MSc in industrial engineering from Columbia, then PhD from Wisconsin in industrial engineering. So I mean, he always believed that education is one thing which you should always have and learn as far as possible, as far as you can go. I mean, that was somewhere that number one, that was in the background. And to be honest with you, I had just started off. So I thought अगर मैं MBA करूँगा तो शायद मुझे नौकरी मिलने में आसानी होगी. Because I was not sure how my the door-to-door selling would work or how will thing out. So it was basically job that attracted me to it.
Okay.
I mean, being very honest with it, कि नौकरी मिल जाएगी. बट नौकरी तो खैर कभी की नहीं. आई वॉज ऑलवेज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. खुद पे सब बनाया. बट दैट डेफिनेटली दोज बुक्स आल्सो हेल्प मी. यस.
So as you said, you were an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur की जर्नी बहुत एक लोनली जर्नी होती है. Do you think that like लोग जब तक हमको सक्सेस नहीं दिखते या अपने फैमिली को सक्सेस नहीं दिखती, वो बोलते हैं कि यार ये क्या कर रहा है, क्यों कर रहा है. So do you believe the journey of an entrepreneur is a very lonely journey?
To a certain extent, yes.
And how did you tackle that?
Was the option. होता था क्योंकि entrepreneur, I did things which were like even in our community it was like unheard of. For example, like door to door. After that, I got into putting up hoarding advertising. Now अभी वो सब अपने community में आए, क्या कर रहा है प्रकाश, होर्डिंग मतलब पेंटर, मतलब अभी वो बिलबोर्ड लगाएगा, अभी वो क्या पेंटर करेगा, मतलब उसमें कुछ, मतलब there was no encouragement. There was no encouragement from anybody, but I knew for myself, my gut told me, no, this is the right thing to do and it is going to help me pay my bills. I'm going, and my family support was there. That's the most important thing. I mean, how your family supports you, my parents, and yes, to become to start my first business. I remember, to build up my first business of hoardings, of putting up billboards, I needed 12,000 rupees. I had saved 2,000 rupees with me while going door to door and selling all these kind of things. And I wanted 10,000 rupees more to put up my hoardings. So my mom formed a jewelry with Bank of India and raised 10,000 rupees. So that's how I started. So this support, because somewhere she also believed, नहीं ये प्रकाश जो कर रहा है शायद चलेगा, अच्छा कर रहा है, ठीक कर रहा है, because she would have observed me, na? Going working hard, going to door. I mean, not so to say wasting my time after coming back from school. I mean, I'm doing all this kind of thing. So that encouragement was very very crucial from my parents, from my father, from my mother. Oh yes.
सर दैट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग कि आपको encouragement मिली फैमिली से एंड यू गॉट दैट सपोर्ट एंड वो बिलीव था आपका फैमिली का. बट सर आई वांट टू आस्क यू क्वेश्चन, आपने ये जर्नी में हाउ मेनी बिजनेस यू स्टार्टेड या बंद किए, व्हाट इज द टोटल नंबर ऑफ बिजनेस यू डिड?
Oh, you can call me a serial entrepreneur. But ये कर वो छोड़ वो कर वैसे नहीं था. There was actually a link in my learning. I could see the opportunities and I could probably harness those opportunities, understand those opportunities and come. So started as a door-to-door salesman. Since you asked these questions, let me go in a chronological order. So from door-to-door salesman, I become a B2B salesman of fabrics, wholesalers, where from going door to door, I went shop to shop selling Vimal suitings, Vimal saris. So B2B of fabric seller. Then from that got an opportunity to me while selling for Vimal. An opportunity came by to put up hoardings for Vimal. So I became a hoarding contractor. So hoarding as a hoarding contractor, I started working with clients, with advertising agencies that motivated me to get into advertising, mainstream advertising. Mainstream advertising after years gave me an opportunity into direct marketing. Direct marketing gave me opportunity to internet, online marketing. With online marketing, I got into as a fruit merchant, selling mangoes, and from that, I became a marketing strategist, and now probably a business mentor. So you see all this.
Yeah.
So they're all, if you see in isolation, they are disconnected, but there is a thread that is joining all this. And when I did one thing, for example, when I started my advertising agency, so I gave up my hoardings business to my employee. And he flourished, he took that business to the next level. So there was a connect. So I mean, and I'm glad to say, I mean, I'm proud to say that each of these businesses made money. How much money is immaterial at this stage, but the fact that I was able to pay all my bills, always remained debt free, and could take some money home, I think that's very important. So yeah, all these businesses, if I may.